Welcome back to the Get Started podcast. I'm Rodrigo, and today we're exploring a lot on the topics regarding mindfulness, resiliency, and intercultural cooperation and these kinds of things. Everything regarding innovation and leadership, and also in a sense of community, let's say. So today I'm joined by Diana Galeeva, and she's the founder of Highlights EV and mindfulness, and also a yoga instructor. So she's very passionate, and I think I can say you're very much an advocate for resiliency in professional settings and also in intercultural settings. So Diana also combines her background in development economics here in the FAU, where you received your education, and very much hands-on entrepreneurial work and youth exchanges, as we briefly discussed, and more than 100 mindfulness workshops. So wow. Diana, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for inviting. I'm super excited to be here and explore this topic with you.
Sweet. So let's get started first on the topic, let's say, on our lives, but very much in the digital landscape right now. So tell us a little bit more about yourself, but also why are you so passionate about mindfulness and also mental health and these kinds of things?
A few years ago, I've noticed that my work became very challenging. Mm-hmm. And I also noticed this notification from my iPhone that my screen time is about 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking, that's really strange. 5 hours, that's really a lot if you compare 8 hours daily work. Yeah, and slowly I started to explore this topic more. And plus, I'm teaching yoga, and yoga goes side by side with mindfulness.
Yeah.
So I started to explore what is mindfulness. So mindfulness is paying attention to a particular moment without judging it, mm-hmm. and just being here and now, without worrying about past and without worrying about the future. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that the digital mindfulness is really much connected to the way how we live in the world. So if I spend 5 hours in the day in my phone, it means that I don't spend these hours in my real life. Mm-hmm. So I can pay attention to only one thing. If I'm with my friends, but I'm constantly distracting myself with the phone, that I'm not really with my friends.
You're not really present, yeah.
Exactly. And it decreases the quality of my life, and it decreases quality of my of my work, of everything.
Okay. And how does this relate a lot to, you've briefly mentioned about screen time, right? So, and social media has been shaping our generation vastly. So especially for students and young professionals, how do you see it maybe improving if we take into consideration, as you mentioned, maybe the yoga, but more specifically, let's say mindfulness, right?
So I believe first, mindfulness helps us to notice that there is a problem. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of problems in our life. There are a lot of negative emotions. And if we distract ourselves from these things, then we somehow get caught in it. Mm-hmm. And mindfulness helps us to realize, okay, now I feel anxious. Now I feel sad. Now I feel irritated. And to notice what exactly caused this thing.
Yeah.
And it means if I notice what causes negative emotion, then I can go to the root of that and somehow to release it and to improve my life, to become generally more happier. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think I see a lot of it in regards to maybe, let's say, people want to ignore these kinds of feelings. So maybe it's almost like an impulse, right? Like, okay, if you feel some sort of negativity, I'll just quickly get on my phone, right, and ignore it. So it's very important. I agree that people should start considering, and maybe they are now as we get older. Like we have to face these kinds of emotions, right? And also maybe a way to look at it for myself is that you have to also integrate it and understand it, right?
Yeah. So emotions, they are for us like compasses. Mm-hmm. The things that we like to do, the things that just disturbs us, And if we completely numb negative emotions, if we are only in this highly positive world, then it means things you don't need are still there, and we just don't feel them.
Yeah, I agree. Was there a specific moment for you where you really started to realize this? And I know I mentioned before, like, where was this this first influence or your thinking about mindfulness, and you got into yoga also. But was there a specific moment that you realized, hey, this needs to happen now, let's say?
I read a book of Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now.
Ah, yes, I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's super famous one. Yeah. And that was the first moment when got me into thinking that I have some problems personally with being in the now. And then later we started doing different projects with my organization on mental health. And we started also doing some surveys or just talking on the projects with young people. And I noticed that young people are constantly distracted. Yeah. That it's so hard for them to pay attention, to focus on a certain task, even for 15, 20 minutes. They are glued to their phones. Yeah. And at this moment, I realized that, they're not paying attention to what's happening in the project or what's happening on the event. So no matter how much we try to bring them the experiences, the learning, it just goes maybe, 20% of their attention, and then 80% disappears. Yeah, because I think I also see that maybe people in academia and education, like let's say even professors, all people in this environment, they might have initially thought, hey, it's an external problem, so we need to fix how we teach, right? When maybe perhaps slowly we start to realize more like, hey, it's more of an internal problem, right? That people need to be taught and educated how to manage these emotions and maybe their lack of attention. So now it kind of goes the other way. Do I have this kind of understanding with it? Yeah, like this is a really good point. I think it comes to shame. So I feel often people feel ashamed of their screen time. For example, a few weeks ago we had an event, and there we had a mental health sheet where it was a couple of questions about the screen time. So how long is your average screen time? Way too much. And then everyone was, no, I don't want to tell you. Yeah. Like, I don't want to even look at my phone and see how much is it, because there is like a lot of negative emotions and people feel guilty about that. But I believe that the most important thing is to recognize that it's not your fault. Behind the phones and the apps that gets us addicted are like hundreds and thousands of engineers that creating these machines to catch our attention and to keep our focus in the app or in the phone for as long as possible. Yeah, exactly. It goes back to algorithms that were created specifically for this. But, it also should be eventually should be a moment of liberation. I feel personally that you can take control of your attention again, right? So I'm really interested in mindfulness specifically, but I think for me it came when I was in Greece. So of course, the setting is perfect, right, for mindfulness. And this was like 4 years ago, and I'm just thinking, like, I'm looking at the beautiful blue oceans. It's like a really distinct blue if you've been there, and people will see the pictures, and you don't, like, why would you even consider want to being in your phone, right? You're in this state of serenity, right? And that's when I really started to wanting to get more involved with mindfulness, let's say. And maybe even through, like, I think the first one was more like breathing techniques, right? But there's still so much work to be done. So my next question would be more on what are the health risks that you're aware of on excessive screen time and also social media use? There are several main negative impacts of screen time that I discovered during my research for a particular project. First one is an emotional impact. It means that when we consume social media, it means that for 2 seconds I experience anger because there is a news about a war. For another 3 seconds I experience awe feeling because I see beautiful landscape, increase serenity. And then for another 4 seconds I experience happiness and laugh because I see cute cats playing with each other. And then next moment I feel really sad because I see a child who is completely skinny because of the war or because of hunger. And our emotional system is not made for that. For this rapid switches of emotional capacities. And what's making this with us is that after 20 minutes, we are completely exhausted with our emotions, and we also numb. So if our emotional system constantly tries to experience different things, then our level of sensitivity goes down. And it means then when we are in real life, either some things are boring, for example, I don't know, dating. If you're switching to the right, to the left all the time, there's so much variety, and then you are on a date with a real person, then it might seem a little bit boring. Or when you're reading a book, it also can be boring because there are no emotional roller coaster.
Wow. And how does that constant comparison or, let's say, endless scrolling also affect people's self-identity or even their self-esteem? How does that, what is the role regarding that?
I believe there are two things in this. First, that we are constantly compared to unachievable standards. If before social media, before phones, we were living in our communities, for example, at university, we had, 100 people to which we compared ourselves. There was a better guy at studying, there was a better girl in looking, or something else. And these were kind of standards that were achievable for us. We kind of related to that. And then it helped us to motivate, to study more, to, work out. But now we see this Hollywood stars or million followers bloggers who are just perfect.
Like, I can compare myself with that for sure. And of course not.
And it's just clear for everyone it's unachievable. And if it's unachievable, why do you ever even try? So that's the first thing. Then we kind of give up on making our lives better, our personalities better. And the second thing is that sometimes I hear, but Instagram gets me inspired, so I see new places, I see new ideas, I see new recipes. And then I'm asking, but does it inspire you or does it manipulate you? Because if you see a new rock, a new dress, do you really want it? Because it's your inner ability, inner wish to have it, or because you just saw it?
Exactly.
Or another thing, for travels. There are now in Instagram this millions of posts where you see beautiful places in the world, beaches, mountains, whatever, to any taste. Algorithm will show you exactly what you want to see. And then the question, do you really authentically want to make these travels? Do you really will enjoy these experiences? Or maybe it's not your inner wish. Maybe you would like to travel to just a nearby city, or to visit your parents instead. Yeah, or to visit your friend, maybe not in a very Instagram-y place, but still a place that will bring much more joy to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I also first thought of the travel destinations. That's just perfect because I can always talk about Greece, first of all. So I think the most popular ones would be definitely Santorini and Mykonos.
Yeah.
It's like, I think we all see that in our Instagram, right? But I can say, because I have a really privileged life, and I have had the opportunity to go to Greece more than 4 times, I go to the opposite. Like, I don't go to where Instagram shows me. I was going to more the culturally filled, but also the other islands that are just not known as much. And the specific names I can't remember, but they were just beautiful. But they're smaller, and there's thousands and thousands of places, right? So that's a really interesting point that you mentioned, that people do tend to say, oh, I was inspired because of this. But in reality, okay, maybe that you're probably shown this through the algorithms, right?
Or even good things like yoga, or Pilates. Yeah, you see this yoga girl that's doing yoga every day, and you think, oh, maybe I should also do. And then you either feel ashamed because you're not doing it, or maybe yoga is not for you. Maybe you better be doing Tai Chi or some other kind of things.
Yeah. So now, on a more general and overarching, staying away from, let's say, social media, but what does mindfulness specifically mean to you, and how can you implement it in the digital world? Maybe also in at work or in these kinds of settings, let's say,
Mindfulness means for you control of my attention and control of my behavior. It means that I don't slide into automatic behavior. Especially with the phone, that I don't touch it just because it's a habit. And that's it.
And I would also like to hear more about Highlights, EV. So I've read a little bit about it, but if you would mind telling us a little bit more about it and how you founded it, I'd love to hear more.
Yeah, of course. 10 years ago, approximately 10 years ago, I also first time took a part in my first youth exchange. And it just was a crazy experience. So I loved it so much. And I thought I need to have more of that in my life. So I went to other projects, I explored more and more. And at one point of life, I was also in a project, and then the guy who organized it and who owns his own NGO asked me, Diana, what are you going to do after you graduate? It was my last year of graduation. And I told him, so find a job like all normal people do. And then he said, why don't you try to open your own organization? I see that you have talent and passion, and I will help you a little bit. And that's how the idea came. And after a year of thinking about it, I decided now it's a time. So I just started gathering documents, gathering information. So it took me a few months. Then I applied for registering it. Then I applied for my first project. My first project was about mindfulness.
Perfect.
So my favorite topic. And after the first project, I realized, that's what I want to do. First is the topic of mindfulness, because all participants got super engaged with that. Also that we need more of that in our lives. And second, being with young people, being in an international setting, bringing different cultures together.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to touch on more, because you also have a migrant background, and you're here in Germany, and you've also had these incredible experiences, and now you founded a business. So how was that, let's say, were you trying to manage it in a way that, what were your expectations, let's say, firstly, from when you first arrived? Because now it seems that you're getting to do everything you love, but you also still see that there's a need more for this, right?
My expectations were quite low before I came to Germany, because people told me, you will never have German friends.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah. And I thought, okay, I will have then international friends. And then I noticed that's not true. Yeah, German people are same open as other people. There are just some barriers. Of course, if a German people grew up here, he or she already have this whole bunch of friends, relatives. And an international person comes, she or he doesn't have anyone.
Yeah.
First that, and then I got really lucky. When I first came to Germany, I came to a dormitory. So I was living in international setting, plus with Germans, with locals.
Yeah.
And yeah, this helped me to be a little bit more integrated.
Yeah, exactly.
Second, I got a German boyfriend. That also helped a lot to my
that's the perfect right there.
Yeah, but I noticed that my example is not just the only one. So there are also my friends or other international students who didn't manage to have this luck in their lives, who struggle to make friends, especially after COVID.
Yeah,
or with COVID, who struggle with some maybe right wings moods right now. And especially after COVID, I noticed that there are just less people on the streets. So when I was studying, there were just a lot of students in the bars, in the cafes, sitting around in the Schlossgarten, so in the park. And now people are not there. People are in their phones.
Exactly. Yeah, I've read a recent study that there's constantly dance clubs and all these bars that are closing. The last one I read was in Berlin, and like these very famous, let's say, techno places. That, I mean, you think of Berlin, you tend to think about techno, and they're closing because they can't afford, for one, the prices, for the rising cost. That's the first problem, and secondly, as you said, there's maybe less people wanting to go, and that's a more a societal thing. But still, going back to the international and the migrants, what is also maybe more your outlook if we remove, of course, that there are people that still want to be on their phones, but we do know there's a need that people don't want to be so much on their phone. So I want to relate it more to like I said, the migrants coming to Germany and wanting to be involved in this. But do you see it also related to innovation and entrepreneurship, or is it still more on mindfulness, let's say? So maybe it's...
I didn't understand your question again.
When international students are coming to Germany, how do you make sense of that? If you want to also bring them into your business and highlights, do you think it's more on... There could be like an intersection, let's say, from the mindfulness, but also innovation. What is your outlook on that?
As I understood your question, it's like either should people themselves be proactive, or should the organizations or infrastructure be there to push them? Of course, it's a combination. The first thing, anyway, to realize for the people themselves, so to take responsibility for them, so that, okay, I have a problem, I have too less friends, too less social activities, but too much screen time. What do? I search in the internet or whatever, through the friends, through the students' clubs. Where do I go? It works also for expats who are not only students, but came for work here, or refugees even. Yeah, everyone. And then I believe to the grassroots concept, so that if you are a migrant or a student, maybe you can start something, maybe you can organize it. And from the other side, there are a lot of organizations government structures that support us, that support exactly this problem. Yeah, like our organization highlights, we organize monthly events.
Okay.
There are also other organizations who organize that. And even if you once per month go to an event with other people who really deeply understand your problems, it's a huge help.
Yeah, because I think it's very natural to feel these things, right? But I wanted to, first of all, it was a very, let's say, intricate question I asked. So I do admit that. But you do hear the international students struggle, right? Firstly, that's not uncommon for arriving to Germany. But we also touch a lot on the technological aspects, right? And you pinpointed it perfectly. That is it more on responsibility, self-responsibility, which I think it is, or does it deviate on what are the structures for education or society to help these people? So it's a balance. Maybe it goes. You do need to first realize, as you said, right, that you have something that you want to change, right?
Yeah, and another thought that came to me, if we are constantly on social media, so we get this pumps, these things of connection.
Yeah.
Like it's not real connection, but still, then we are less likely to go out there and to talk to a stranger, or even on an event, talk to a student that we know. So it numbs us a little bit. So I believe it's important first to realize that there is a problem, that I feel lonely, and that is okay. Yeah. And when I use my phone, I try to overcome this loneliness. Yeah. Because we are humans. We are naturally seeking connection to other people. Some years ago, it was even almost impossible that a person stays alone for such a long time like we are. So I live alone, and I work also sometimes alone. And when I go to the office, there are so less people. On a Friday, it's a really luck if you meet someone.
Sure, yeah.
And we are just not made for that. We are made to live in big communities, big families. And we need to remind us that we need real connections, and social media or phone cannot substitute for that.
Yeah, that's very well said. I think it's more also to add to it, it's like a wake-up call for our generation. Maybe there's conversations that people are slowly starting to realize this, but it's not going to hurt if we still market it like, let's say, programs and NGOs such as yours, right? And so I really agree with your mission. I want to now have a quick fire, let's say, round, and I'll just ask a short question, and you can just whatever pops into your mind, let's say.
Okay.
So, what is the first mindfulness habit that you started to practice daily?
I bought myself an alarm.
Okay.
So a real alarm.
Like those, the classical ones or the older ones, or?
Kind of classical, but it's a bit classical fancy one.
Okay.
It's a light alarm. So it wakes you up with a light plus a really nice melody.
Okay.
And it meant that the first thing that I touch in the morning, it's not my phone.
Okay.
So I now keep my phone as far from my bed as possible.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the first thing.
That's a great one. I'm gonna put that in the list. So, who's the thinker, or maybe a book? Oh, you mentioned it a little bit before. It was the Eckhart Tolle, right? But would you say this was someone that really inspired for your worldview, or is there another book or person that also comes to mind?
For the general philosophy of mindfulness, yes. But for digital mindfulness, for everything connected to the phones and social media, is Anna Lemke. It's a book that she wrote, A Dopamine Nation.
Okay.
It's a super famous book. You've probably seen it, even the cover. And she explores from the scientific point of view how technologies affected our brains, our bodies, our relationship.
Wow. Okay.
And it's super interesting. So you can read it, I think, in a couple of hours. And it's not just theory, but also practice. So she offers really step-by-step approaches, strategies, how to slowly break up from this addiction that we have.
Okay, sweet. And what is more fulfilling for you? Is it leading a yoga session or preparing for a youth workshop or exchange?
Fulfilling, yeah. It's difficult to say because a yoga session is much easier.
Okay.
And youth exchange is very complex.
Sure.
That's why I will say yoga session.
Okay.
And it's because it's also an instant reward.
Yeah.
I prepare yoga session is there, participants are happy. If you prepare youth exchange, it takes a month.
Sure.
Then you have a week to organize it, to implement, and then after that.
Could be a greater reward, yeah. And I have to say, like, I've tried yoga and wow, that is really underrated, let's say, but also, you know, it was natural that the first time you try something, it's not gonna be great, but I gotta give credit to you. That's really impressive, yeah.
Thank you.
And lastly, is there one word that describes your vision and that you would like to tell here our audiences, or maybe a phrase? How do you, almost like a brand that you have for yourself, a self-brand?
Self-brand. Being authentic. It means for me being honest with myself, being honest with people around me, being honest with environment around me, and trying not to go against myself.
Fair enough, yeah. Then we're approaching the end, unfortunately. I want to deeply thank you, Diana, for sharing your journey. It has so many intricacies and nuances, and they're really, really interesting topics, from mindfulness to youth exchanges and the effects on technology. So I want to say, again, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. I also had a lot of fun.
Sweet.
Thank you, Rodrigo.
Then we can conclude this, and I really hope this encourages many people to venture out into the interesting topics. Sweet.